Hello guys. All right, we are 3 weeks out from the Sin City Showdown and I am super excited. And today's video is going to be a little bit different. Instead of a vlog style, we're going to do like a little Q&A. I asked for some questions that you guys had about prepping or competing or really just any general questions about what's going on. And yeah, so we're just going to answer those today. I do have a handy dandy list here so I don't forget any because I did not memorize all the questions, just being totally honest. But we have some serious ones where I'm going to answer them and it's going to sound like, I don't know, getting real deep in here. And then some more fun ones and easy, just like super quick and simple to answer questions. So I'm excited. If there are any questions I don't answer that you have, please let me know. But let's just hop right into it. Okay, so the first question that I'm going to answer is, I had somebody ask me, what do we do about tattoos? And I figured I'll answer about piercings as well, since I do have piercings. Tattoos, nothing. Tattoos don't hurt your placing. Tattoos are totally fine, and it's actually worse to cover them up because then you just see like, oh, something's covered up. There is instances where, like, say someone had a really big tattoo that like made it hard to see different definition in their muscles, that could maybe hurt. But definitely something like what I have, this guy and this guy and this guy and the one on my stomach, not going to have any impact whatsoever. The judges have been asked this a lot and I've looked into it, and it does not hurt your placing to have tattoos. Now, piercings, for me, I am going to take out my eyebrow rings and I am going to take out my lip ring. And this is a personal preference. I'm not sure what the judges would think of piercings, but I did leave them in one time for my last show at finals, and I looked at the stage shots and I hated it. Absolutely hated how it looked. I don't know why, because I love my piercings, but I did not like how it looked with like the stage glam. It felt clashy and weird. Nose ring's gonna stay, earrings will stay, but you won't be able to even see those, and belly button ring will stay. But eyebrow rings come out. One, it makes it easier to do makeup if the eyebrow rings aren't in, and same with the lip. I honestly just don't like how this looked on stage with everything. So those two things are gonna come out for show day for me, because I personally don't like how they looked on me when I looked at stage shots. Okay, so tattoos don't matter. Piercings, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to take out the ones on my face, except for the nose, because everyone has their nose pierced nowadays, so I don't think it matters. Plus, I don't mind how that looked in the pictures. Okay, next question. I had someone ask me about my food scale, and I should have grabbed that before I sat down. Let me go get it. All right, I use my food scale multiple times a day. I actually use my food scale not on prep too, because knowing how much you're eating is beneficial. You should know how much you're eating. You should know what you're eating. You should know about your food. But having a food scale is super important, because measuring and just eyeballing it are, especially eyeballing it. No, we are horrible at eyeballing stuff. So if you think you're good at it, you're wrong, because you're not good at eyeballing it. Just saying. But I have this Food Network food scale. I got this at Kohl's when I worked there like ages ago. And I have to be honest, there's things that I don't like about it. It works, don't get me wrong. Like, this is fine. You can totally get this and be great. It's just Food Network food scale. But what to look for in a food scale, make sure it does ounces and grams, and that it has a tare function. I think that's what it's called. It's where like you can put a bowl on it, hit the tare or reset button, and then it puts it out to 0. So then you can put your food on the plate and it's easy to measure. But you definitely want it to go from grams and ounces. My biggest complaint about mine is that to switch it from gram to ounces, you have to lift up the food scale. So let me show you. The button's right here on the underside. So like, say you have to like pick it up to change it, which minor annoyance. That's why I still have it, because it's really not that big of a deal. But if I were to buy a new one, I would look for one that has the switchy button on the top, so I didn't have to lift it up, because sometimes like I'll have food on here and I'll have not switched it. I'm like, oh, dang it. And I'll have to like pick it up and hit the button. And yeah, just like I said, minor inconvenience. But yeah, so that's the big things to look for. I would get a digital one. They're not real expensive. That way you can really get down to the gram and measure pretty accurately. But it's helpful. It really is, to just learn about serving sizes and everything like that. So even if you're not prepping, I would definitely recommend getting a food scale. Make sure it does grams, ounces, digital, and it has that tare function, and you are good to go. Next question. All right. Do I get help at the shows, and like, do I make friends or meet friends or have friends that also compete and that are at the shows? So let's address the friend situation. Well, no. I'm super shy. I have reached out to a few people on Instagram that are part of Team Elite Physique and also doing the Sin City Showdown. We've chatted back and forth a little bit, but in all honesty, I am super shy and it is really hard for me to make friends. So I would love to say that I've made the best friends in the world while competing and prepping. It's just not true though. And that's because of me. I know that's not true. I know a lot of people make really great friends that they're competing. I'm just super shy. And I kind of stick to myself. I'm really excited to meet these ladies when I go to Vegas that I've been talking to. Like, I'm super stoked. And it would be awesome if meeting in person helps us, like, makes it so we start to talk more, but we shall see. I don't make friends easily because I'm super shy, and that's kind of how I am. So there's that. Most people are very supportive though. Like, you don't really get like, you're not like backstage and people are dicks or anything like that. Like, everyone's really nice. Everyone's super excited. Everyone's put in so much work, and it's just kind of very, a lot of camaraderie. Is that the right word? Yeah, like, it's like, yeah, we're all here together. We're all a little tired. We've all put in a lot of work, and we are excited to show it all off. So there's that aspect, which is really, really cool. So it's very supportive atmosphere, which is amazing. And as for help at the show, it is Justin. He has been so helpful. He's always so helpful in my preps. He helps with really everything. He doesn't not support me. He's very supportive the whole time. And on show day, he helps me not act like a crazy person or a freaking lunatic when I'm panicking about stuff, trying to get to the show, get to the venue. He helps me remember to pack everything. He helps carry stuff. He will help with food. He helps a lot. So my help at the show is all through Justin, and I'm super appreciative. It would be so much harder by myself. There are people I've seen that do it all alone, and I mean, I could do it, but it's so much easier that he helps, and I'm super appreciative because I know not everyone is as lucky as I am, and having somebody that is so supportive of something that's can be a little extreme and does impact his life as well a little bit. So thank you, Justin. Oh, and help at the shows. I wanted to address this too. Last time I've competed, the last times, however many it was, what, 4? I paid for the show tan and makeup. And this time I'm doing my own tan and my own makeup. Makeup hasn't really been a huge issue, but I just wanted to learn to do it myself so I didn't have to get up at 3 in the morning to go get my makeup done, because then you're just tired all day. So I'll be able to wake up at a semi-reasonable time and do my own makeup, and hopefully it'll go well. And it's just, usually you just have to get up so early because there's only so many people doing makeup and they can only do it so fast, and there's so many competitors that need it. Sometimes their appointments get to be so early, or the appointments get to be so late that you're stressed you're gonna miss your show. You're gonna miss getting on stage. So I just wanted to eliminate that. Tan, I just had a really bad experience the last time I got a show tan, and I decided I wanted to try doing this on my own, and partially for the same reasons, a little bit less stress with less appointments to have to get to really early. So we shall see how it goes. Maybe it'll go bad, maybe it'll go well. I'm not sure. I'm hoping it will go well. But yeah, I had a really bad experience the last show tan. I hated it. All right, next question. I had someone ask me, do you know what side you're coming in on the stage? And like, I do a little hand twirly. So first off, a little hand twirly when I pose, that's a me thing. It's just like a weird little tweak or tick or something, quirk that I have to like feel like I get my shoulder in position, because I don't want to be too tight to my side. and I don't want to be like out teapotting it, which is actually kind of against the rules, I think, to like do like a teapot pose. So the curly hand thing that I do is just kind of a me quirk. It doesn't actually do anything. And you don't know ahead of time what side of the stage you're coming in on. I am comfortable coming in from whatever side you see me practice on the most. And I can only pose one direction. So fun fact, if I tried to like reverse it and like, instead of like posing like this, and I tried to reverse and do it backwards, oh dear Lord, it's almost impossible. My flexibility is actually vastly different from side to side too. I would really have to actually practice a lot, and just like, it's kind of like rubbing your head and patting your belly, or like if you were to like reverse the steering wheel on like a bicycle or something, you're just like like that. So, but yeah, I wanted to talk about posing for a second. Posing is really important. It's just as important as your conditioning and what you're looking like, because that is how you're showing it off. That's how you are presenting it to the judges, and you want to show yourself in the best possible way. So the whole point of posing is to hide your weaknesses and accentuate your strengths. For me, I have smaller shoulders. My upper body is definitely my weakness, and I have a slightly heavier lower body. Now, the whole point in bikini is balance from top to bottom. Nice, even balance from top to bottom. You want to make like kind of like a nice X with your body. And so posing, the whole point is to get that nice balanced X. You want decently wide shoulders, tiny waist, and then you want that bottom X where you have your glutes, but you don't want to be too much either. So it's finding that balance. The posing is very important, because you are judged on your stage presence as well. It's not just your physical conditioning, it's also how you present yourself on stage. So it's kind of the whole package. How's your posing look? Does it look fluid? Does it look robotic? Like, does it look pretty? Stuff like that. So posing is super, super important, and it's definitely something I've had to work at, and my walk still needs work. So that's my weak point in the posing for sure. And I do get nervous on stage and tend to rush. So my goal is to make sure that doesn't happen this year, and really take my time through it and show off my physique to the judges. I could do a whole video more about the criteria of bikini, because I feel like it's a little hard, but generally balance. And you don't want to be too lean. You don't want to be too not lean. Like, you can be too lean for bikini. It's very easy. Some people come in way too lean and they're like, oh no, that's not what bikini is. So there's that too. Okay, let's move on from posing. All right, we're going to get into some of the more stuff that has to do with me and my feelings. So a little bit deeper. Let me get a drink first. So the first deeper question is, what made me want to compete in the first place? So I first competed in 2017, I believe. And it was right when I moved to California, I started my prep. Basically, right when I moved to California, I started my prep. And what made me want to was, one of the girls at my job before I left Iowa was prepping for her first competition, and I thought it was kind of cool. I think it was an accumulation of a bunch of different things coming together at once that got me interested. I had started going to the gym. I had started lifting. I was following a program from Oxygen magazine that featured Ashley Kaltwasser, who, as you know, is my coach now. So I was introduced to competing through her, learning about who she was, doing her program, and then this person at work that was competing. And I had been debating on whether starting another marathon training program. And I was like, well, maybe I could train or prep for a show instead of a marathon. Because in my head at that time, they took about the same amount of time, which I only prepped for 12 weeks my first one. So they took about the same amount of time. And because I didn't really know what I was getting into, I didn't know much about it. And ultimately, I ended up deciding to try a competition because, one, it was different. Two, it seemed kind of hard and it seemed fun. I mean, that's kind of neat, like showing off that you've lifted and all that cool stuff. So really not a deep reason. The very first time I did it was just I wanted to do a challenge, and it was a marathon or a competition. I'd never done a competition before, and all these other things were kind of like having that in my head. And so I went the competition route, and I did my first one. I'm pretty sure it was 2017, in June of 2017 in Omaha. I placed 4th in my class, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I just decided I wanted to do more for about the same reason. But why did I do this prep? Now, this prep is much different than any prep I've done. It's different than that first one. It's different than the one I did in 2019 and the one I did the year before that. With the fact behind it is I want to see if I have potential in the sport. I want to see if I can take it further, or if I can take it past being just a hobby or something for fun. And then I also want to see if I want to even do that. Is this something I would want to do and pursue much more seriously than just doing it for fun and prepping and like getting shredded for a little bit and then not worrying about it too much and doing it again? So this prep is more like putting my toes in the water. Like, do I want to take this seriously? And if I do want to take it seriously, is it something that I could actually excel at and have potential to do well and get to those upper ranks, get to a national show, place at a national show, win a national show, and become a pro? Is that something I'm even capable of doing? And is it something I even want to do? And that's what this prep has been about. And that's what this post prep is going to be about. If I want to continue working toward that and seeing how I like it, and just figuring out if there is that potential and if it's something that is plausible, I guess would be the best way to put it. So really the biggest is I want to see if I have potential in the sport, and then I want to see if it's something I am willing and wanting to do, because it is hard. It's work. It's not just like, oh, okay. It would be effort. And so, yeah, that's what this prep is. That's why I'm doing it. That's why I hired a high-level coach, because I was taking it very seriously, and I wanted to get the most out of it that I could and see what it would really be like to be competitive in the sport, and like how much I would have to do and how hard I would have to work to be truly competitive in the sport. Because right now I'm the leanest I've ever been. I look the best I've ever looked. I'm very excited to see what happens at the show at the end of this month. That sort of ties into how do I manage disappointment and why did I get a coach. So let's talk about why I got a coach, because I was just sort of talking about that. Because I'm not an expert on bikini. Bikini is not the same as just regular fat loss. I mean, the methods are the same, and bikini building, like bodybuilding, it's different because there are certain pieces that you have to look at. And I, being fairly new, even though I've done shows, I'm not an expert. Like I said, just this prep, I've started to really like watch a lot of stuff, watch a lot of shows and analysis and stuff like that to really start learning more about bikini. But I am not an expert. I can't just look at the pro level bikini competitors and be like, oh yeah, this one's this and this and this. It is amazing what Coach Adam of Team Elite Physique can look and see, and I can't see that, and I know that. I cannot coach myself. I need that. I want that expert eye. That's all there is to it. I want that outside expert eye. And the second reason is I know that I cannot be an objective observer of myself. When you get into prep, so like right now, I don't have to worry, like, are my calories where they should be? Is my cardio where it should be? Are my lifts where they should be? I don't have to worry about that because I have a coach that's telling me, and they can be objective because they're from the outside. Me, I might be like, oh my God, I'm not leaning out fast enough. I'm too lean. Who knows? There could be any number of things, and I would second guess myself and stress and question, and having a coach makes it so I don't have to do that. You get prep goggles too. Like, oh, I just happened to be just the other day. I was watching the show from this past weekend here in town, looking at the Instagram pictures, I'm like, oh my gosh, those girls look so good. There's no way I could even place around those girls. There's no way I would even be competitive. Oh, look at their shoulders. Like, oh, look at that delt. It looks so good. And it's not that I'm bashing myself at all, but you just start to like, I mean, I see myself every day. So I just like, oh, this is just how I look, but they look amazing. So you get prep goggles as well. And just having a coach keeps you stable and it helps keep you accountable. Cause like right now it's a little hard. Don't get me wrong. My calories are pretty low for me. My carbs are really low for me. And cardio is a little higher, a little hard. And having that outside accountability is great. That really helps me from like, I could just eat, you know, a little extra, but no, I can't. Because Ashley would be like, we didn't get the results we should have seen from what we did this week. So outside accountability, the objectivity, and the expertise is why I hired a coach. Now, how do I manage disappointment? Say I do this show and I get dead last. That's a possibility. That could happen. I could do all this work. I could put in all this effort and work super, super hard and look the best I've ever looked and still get dead last. And how would I deal with that? Because that's a good question. Well, I have no expectations on place. I hope I place well. I want to place well. I would love to win my class. But I don't expect to. You can't control who shows up. You can only control how you look. I can only control how I show up. And if that day someone comes in that is better, I can't help that. So having no expectations is the first step into already dealing with disappointment. Because yeah, if I get last, I'm going to be bummed. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to let myself be like, oh, dang, that sucks. Because I mean, I want to do good. I want to place. Like, I'm not going in there just like, sure, hope I get last. Like, nobody does that. But I'm not going to expect anything, and I'm just going to be really, really happy if I do really well. And then also, maybe the question was more geared toward like the self-esteem aspect, like, oh, you put in all that work, you're looking really good, you're looking shredded, and you get last. It's not like they're saying like, how does that affect me mentally about how I look? And personally, it doesn't affect me at all. Like, they're not judging they're judging my body, but they're not like judging my body, like, is it attractive or not? Like, that's not their job. They're judging it. Does this body, in relation to all the other ones here, does it match the criteria for bikini the best? So that's a very specific and narrow focus that they're looking at. And that is fairly objective. It gets more objective as you get higher in the ranks. So it's a little bit more subjective the lower you are. But it's not the same as like, oh, you got last, you suck, you're ugly, or something like that. That's not how I take it. And that the last show I did in 2019, I got second to last or third to last or something. And I mean, I was disappointed, but it didn't hurt my feelings, I guess. They're not judging me as a person. They're judging me in relation to criteria. And I just remember that it's a sport. Like, my feelings wouldn't be hurt if someone beat me in a race because they were faster. Like, they were faster. Like, that's it. That's all there is to it. And also learn, because you get judges' feedback and they can tell you why you placed where you placed. Now for me, I already know places I need to work on. My delts, my arms, my upper body a little bit. And I mean, everywhere could be improved. I just need to get bigger overall. And honestly, even if I won, that wouldn't change. That would probably still be my feedback, because each level you go, you got to get better. Bikini and competing and bodybuilding is always about continuous improvement. You're never going to be like, okay, done. Like, don't need to get any better. That's not a thing. So win or lose, my actions post show are going to be the same: to improve and to learn and to get better. So sure, I'll be disappointed. I'll be bummed a little bit, but then I will be excited to make the improvements and the changes that need to be made to do better next time. Let's go on to the next question, which is, what are my favorite and least favorite parts of competing or being on prep, and is it worth it? First, is it worth it? Yes. I really can't tell you the exact reasons why, but it must be worth it because I've done it 4 or 5 times now. So definitely worth it. Yeah, we'll do my least favorite things first. So my least favorite things really are the really bad days, which a couple weeks ago you saw in my vlog that I had a really bad week. And that sucks. That's not fun. It's not, that's probably my least favorite thing, those down days. I have to say though, I've had very few of those this prep. There have not been too many. That was a long week. I don't know what was going on. We cut stuff, and I'm thinking my body was just trying to adjust to like the lower carbs and stuff like that. But that's my least favorite thing. Those really down days where you're just feeling like sad almost. And yeah, that's my least favorite thing. Those really down days. Other least favorite thing would be the cost. It is very expensive to compete. So it'd be nice if it was a little cheaper, a little bit more easy to afford, but it is expensive. I don't mind dishing out for a coach. Get what you pay for, I feel like, with coaching. But just entry to the show, paying for your NPC card. I am saving money because I'm doing my own tan and my own makeup. Not saving money this time, but in the future, that'll add up to being savings. I'm not buying a new suit. I upgraded my suit, or am upgrading my suit, so that's not as expensive as normal. I did buy new shoes, which should be here by Friday, but it's expensive, and I wish it was a little bit cheaper, so that would be nice. But, oh well, is what it is. And least favorite thing on show day is it's a very much hurry up and wait type of situation. So, oh my God, hurry, and wait for 45 minutes to get on stage. So that sucks. That's not super, super fun. But those are probably my least favorite things right there. And my favorite things, a little bit superficial, we'll do that one first, is I love to get all glammed up. I don't do it often. It's fun to do my hair, my makeup, be all tan in a friggin' crystallized suit with heels on, and then like showing off how much work you've put in. It's fun. It's fun to feel all glam and, I don't know, fabulous and pretty. I don't know, it sounds super girly and dorky when I say it, but I enjoy it. That's really fun. Show day is fun because you feel good about yourself. It's awesome. And then my favorite thing for prep though is just, and what makes it worth it, is the sense of pride and accomplishment I get for doing it and doing it well. I mean, anyone can step on stage. You could go sign up for the Sin City Showdown right now, and as long as you got the heels and a bikini, you can step on stage with me. But I am proud of all of the work that goes into it prior to stepping on stage. I put in the effort. I put in the workouts. I get in the cardio. I hit my food. I do the work, and I'm proud of that because it is an effort and it is work that most people will never be able to do and don't want to do. And I'm proud of myself that I want to do it and that I do accomplish it. I'm proud that I'm willing to put in that work and that I can work hard and reach a goal that is challenging and a goal that not many people will reach. And that makes me feel happy and proud of myself. All right, abrupt end to the Q&A, but I did decide to make it 2 parts. The second part, I felt like the question or 2 could stand on their own and make their own video. So that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions that I didn't answer after this part 1 and after watching part 2, please let me know. It was kind of fun doing the Q&A. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, make sure to hit like, make sure to say hi in the comments. It doesn't even have to be anything deep. Just like a quick hello is always appreciated. And I will see you guys in part 2, and I'll see you guys in the 2 weeks out vlog coming next week. All right, bye.